Well, someone who gets to experience the craziness of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every single day is Outsider's favourite correspondent, Benji Irby. Benji, how are you? Great to see you.
Hey, how you doing? Happy New Year, everybody out in Australia.
Fantastic, thank you. So how's Joe Biden's unity and peace and love regime going on the ground there in the States, Benji?
It's absolutely horrible. Since he's been elected, one of the things that affects me as a person who's a cab driver, as you guys know, gas prices have gone up at least like $1 a gallon, which is crazy because it's actually quite coincidental in that, now for my job, I'm paying an extra $25 a week in gas, which equates to about $1,300, $1,400 a year, which is the same amount as that little stimulus package they sent out that they had to go through and do all this propositioning to get, even though they can throw billions of dollars at a whole bunch of, Democrat crap and all their wish lists of crap, but yet the American people, they have to deliberate for months and months to get a little measly $1,400. $1,400 that for me is going to go right into the gas tank anyway. So really, I've won nothing and gained nothing from it. The country is way more racialized, of course, than usual. Everything is about race. Everybody's concerned about, all types of slights and microaggressions, and the left is just really taking over everything. And now we're to the point where we're about to, abolish the filibuster, and the only people that are left to save the republic are two, weak Democrat senators, Sinema and Joe Manchin, who the whole republic is now putting our trust and hope in not to go along with this abolishing of filibuster. So it's, we're in really bad straits here. It's not very good.
Rita.
And I've been seeing some absolutely hysterical reporting, particularly from MSNBC and CNN, on voter integrity laws, having some sort of voter identification and making sure the person who's actually voting is entitled to vote and they're only voting once. Tell us about that. Tell us about that debate.
That whole argument is so ridiculous because what they're saying is that voter ID is, racist and trying to use black people as, as the face for this. But black people are American citizens. We have IDs. So I don't understand how, voter ID then becomes racist. Only people that don't have IDs are people who aren't citizens of this country. And of course, they're trying to get more people who are non-citizens to vote because they're supposed to be voting for them. But really, if they cared so much about voter ID and people having IDs, a much cheaper way of doing it would just to let everybody in America get IDs for free. Why are we paying for IDs anyway? Everybody in America who is a citizen should have one. Since they want to pay for stuff and they want to waste money on stuff, it'd be much cheaper just to give everybody in America who's a citizen who can prove their citizenship an ID, and then the problem is solved. But we all know that that's not what the problem really is. The problem is they're trying to figure out how they can cement their power forever by having illegal immigrants come in and vote. And of course, illegal immigrants come and go to the border to go into the red states that their blue voters don't want to live in.
James.
Benji, I want to ask you more about what's happening with the racial climate in America. Now, the impression that I'm getting here from 10,000 miles away is that the Democrats are trying to divide Americans against one another more and more every day. And we saw a tragic case of this with a couple of mass shootings, one committed by a white man with a majority of Asian victims, another one committed a week later by a Syrian-American man with, I think, largely Caucasian victims. These two events were treated very differently in the press. And I'm wondering if you could sort of tell us a bit about that and how race relations are being kind of poisoned by critical race theory and making everybody hyper-conscious of their own race, other people's race, and particularly, whiteness.
Well, the thing is, they have to keep the racial narrative going because it's the biggest smokescreen to all the things that they're doing. I mean, no one's asking about, Hunter Biden and this new gun scandal. No one's asking about, Joe Biden being bought and sold by China. No one's talking about the fact that China now has a larger navy than the U.S. and that China is, as was shown in the package before, is making moves toward Taiwan and is, taking over our country as far as business and things like that are concerned, even with the internet and like TikTok and all this stuff. So race is going to be the thing that's going to get everybody, keep everybody busy while the real work is actually going on. Now, we have a whole coronavirus bill in which 91% of it had nothing to do with the coronavirus. I mean, in a normal, sane society, people would be outraged. This would be something people to protest over, something people to want to go down to, Washington and to the state capitol and say, this is crazy. How are we spending trillions of dollars on the coronavirus and it's not even going to the coronavirus? But we're so busy enthralled in race and enthralled in, fighting one another. As I always say, I say that, the black poor and the white poor are basically are like a black woman and a white woman, both getting screwed by the same green guy, which is the U.S. government. And if those two women can come together and get the guy who's screwing us both, then we actually could get somewhere. But the reason why the racial division is being planted and supplanted by Democrats and the media, and even some Republicans as well, is because what that's going to do is that's going to keep the American people busy from not looking at what the whole of Congress is doing. I mean, now that Trump is out of office, I can't even say that I'm even, supportive of the Republican Party, because I've seen what the Republicans are doing. I'm not really impressed by them either. So I guess I'm just a patriot and a Trumplican, and I'm just waiting to see, what President Trump is going to do, when he's going to run again, and whoever I do vote for, moving forward. A litmus test for me will be what is their stance on President Trump and the MAGA agenda.